Told you this is going to be a disaster.
When you're in an apartment, you share walls with other people, other beings that exude heat. And that heat gets insulated.
You're making this sound gross.
It is very gross. Because when you're in an apartment, you pretty much always have to have your air on, even if it's cold outside, because your apartment will retain heat.
Do you want to know why you have to do that? Because your neighbors are like me when I lived in an apartment, and we just didn't use the air conditioning or the heat because we got enough from our neighbors that we were able to save money.
Yeah, I do that in the winter for heat because it's always hot, but in the summer,
it's still always hot.
It's even hotter. So I always, even if it's like 60 outside, where most people in houses, would just have their windows open, I always have to close my windows and turn on the air.
So when it's 90 degrees in your apartment, do you still sleep with blankets, sheets?
For the last couple nights, I've been sleeping out on my couch with a fan blowing from the sliding glass door. Or, no, it's not glass, but, the door. And just blowing a fan onto me while I'm laying on the couch in my underwear with no blanket.
Oh, man.
Trying to gasp for air because it's just so humid and hot. It feels like I live in like Arizona or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. It's funny. It reminds me. So for anyone who doesn't know, I am a musician. I play in a band called Winona Avenue. But before that, I played in a different band, and we were traveling through Arizona, Southern California, and it felt how I imagine your bedroom feels.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving, it was at midnight, and the AC was out in our van, and this was 2016, and it is 2022 with a new van, and we still don't have air conditioning. We don't make a lot of money. But so we roll the windows down to be able to breathe when we're in Arizona.
Yep.
I remember it felt like when you opened the window, it almost made it worse. It was like sticking your head in an oven.
Yeah, that's what it felt like today.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why, because it just always felt so hot inside, but then I'd go out on my balcony and nope, this is worse. This is worse.
Yeah.
And, my cat is a long-haired cat, and she's just miserable.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, we take Gus, our dog, on the road with us a lot of the times, and he does not like not having air conditioning.
Yeah. Me either. I like air conditioning.
So how have I been?
So on to the next topic. Now, how have you been, David?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've been good. It's actually a little warm in my house, and we have working air conditioning. It just can't keep up. But so I actually wrote down bullet points, which is why I wanted you to ask me how I've been, because a few days ago, so when I'm not on the road doing music,
it's hot.
Am I boring you?
I'm just hot.
It is so hot in here. When I'm not on the road doing music, for those of you who wouldn't know, which would be most people, I actually work for a moving company. And the last job that we worked on was at a courthouse. So we were moving a courthouse and the connected jail from one location to another. And me, not taking anything seriously, got in trouble a lot.
Oh, no. What did you do?
Allegedly.
Okay. For the record.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
If this was illegal, we need to take it out.
Good thing this is pre-recorded.
Allegedly. Actually, I'm going to back up. Because technically, allegedly, I got in trouble for allegedly putting on a judge's robe while we were moving the courthouse.
What? Did you take a selfie? Okay.
I couldn't.
Good.
I couldn't because what happened is now whether or not I was actually thinking about putting a judge's robe on is one thing, but I did not do it. So I walk in to a room, an office, and I'm screwing around. I'm allegedly, I don't want to get fired. And I see like there's one judge's robe hanging up and there's another on the floor. And so like my brain's immediately like, this will be so funny if I go out in front of all the guys wearing a judge's robe, because they all take the job about as seriously as I do.
Yeah.
That might have been what I was thinking. I would never, ever do something like that on the job.
Right.
But so I picked the judge's robe up. It was on the floor. Somebody had knocked it onto the floor. It was hanging up in like a little closet space. As soon as I pick it up, the lady that was out like running the job, like was like yelling at me, like to put it off, to put it down. Like, you can't touch that. And so that was the first time I got in trouble.
Okay.
The second time, so we have, to put it kindly, and you know him, an older guy named Terry who works.
Yep.
This guy is, I don't know, 73, I think. And
Definitely
he works for a
70s,
works for a moving company, and he smokes, so he looks like he's 90, and I hope he sees this. But the guy's a man.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll probably have plenty of stories about him. I actually would love to have him come on sometime. It would be a really fun podcast.
That would be entertaining.
But again, so old guy, I found a date stamp on a desk of someone's office that we were moving. Mm-hmm. So I was going to change the date to just a couple weeks from the day that we were moving. I was going to stamp it on Terry and tell him it was his expiration date. But as soon as I picked the stamp up, the same lady's like, you can't touch that. And so like, I kept getting in trouble on the job site for silly stuff like that. But
sounds like something that would happen like on a TV show.
Yeah, so the whole job I don't take seriously. Like I work hard. We all work hard and we do our job. Like on breaks or like while we're working, like you've got to make a job like that fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But so I was just like one other dumb thing I was doing. So this is going to get really morbid.
Oh no.
When we were moving a hospital, I've maybe told you this before. We might have to cut this out too. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. We were moving a hospital, and it's during COVID. It's still during COVID. It wasn't that long ago though. But it was like a few months ago. And we're moving an old hospital into a new building. And apparently at hospitals, they wheel bodies out the same dock that everything else is used for. So
oh no.
While we were working, there were just dead bodies being wheeled out every once in a while into a van. And so I'm going to get a little off track here, but like I actually caught COVID from that job, and we wonder if we got it from a dead person.
Okay.
But anyways, that's not what I was. So I made a joke that I shouldn't have.
Oh no.
I said, man, those guys are just dying to leave this place, aren't they? But at the prison, I was like, man, people are killing to get in here. Or no, I said people would kill to get in here. That's what I said. I guess it's a jail, not a prison. But
wow.
There was also a prisoner who tried to escape while we were in there, but that's
wow.
Barely a story worth telling. The lady was like, yeah, he's just trying to put on a show while you guys are in here moving. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted a show, so it worked out. But that's how I've been.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't know how I haven't gotten fired yet.
Yeah, I'm shocked you didn't get arrested for putting on a judge's robe.
Is that illegal?
Sounds illegal.
Impersonating a judge.
Hey guys, look, I'm a judge. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, if I went to jail for it, well, I was already there, so
just for putting it on, like not actually like trying to be a judge.
Hey, bub, what are you in here for? Impersonating a judge?
Oh my gosh!
I'll have plenty more funny work stories for other episodes.
I'm sure. Wow.
Should we get into an actual subject?
Yeah, let's get into one of these news topics here. So we will be talking about various news topics in various industries. Industries that we care about would be movies, music, video games, TV, and technology, stuff like that.
And I would like to make it abundantly clear for everybody who's watching. Brad, you already know this. When it comes to music, I'll know a decent amount. Video games, I can kind of keep up. Anything else, I'm going to be absolutely clueless. And it's going to be a wild ride. I'm really excited to do this podcast because I think it's going to be funny hearing how little I know about anything.
It's going to be a lot of me mansplaining things to David.
As you should.
Yeah. All right. So I think the first one that I want to start with is one of the bigger ones in video game news. It's the Microsoft might be making an Xbox streaming stick. And this is something that you probably would know.
I don't know.
Have thoughts of.
I don't have thoughts of it.
You have thoughts.
I will once I know what it is.
So you know how...
Is it like the Amazon Fire Stick?
Yeah. So think of something like that, or like a Roku or an Apple TV.
What's great is for anyone watching this show, anytime you bring something up and they're like, I don't know what he's talking about, they're going to find out because I don't know either.
Yeah. So I'm just explaining it to the audience and you.
No, just the audience. Okay. I know what's going on. We practiced this.
Yeah, this is very scripted, as you can see. So this is like I said, kind of like a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or like a Chromecast, where you just plug it straight into your TV. And
it's so hot in here.
I told you. Maybe we should have just done it at my place.
I think my AC's broken too.
Trust me, this is way better than my place right now. Anyways.
I'm sorry. I'm going to derail us a lot.
So it's going to be a stick that you plug into your TV where you can stream Xbox games. So it's basically like you'll be able to play Xbox games.
It's like
without
having
an Xbox
Game Pass.
Yeah, it's for
with
Game
a
Pass.
Stick.
Yeah. Game Stick.
Do I get it?
You get a Game Stick.
So I think I get it.
Yeah. So there's also going to be an app apparently. So you can download it on whatever you have currently, like a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or like an Android TV or whatever, and you'll be able to play through that.
So serious question. So I really, I know I'm being dumb, but I really don't know what this is. So what you're telling me is, so I can play video games without an Xbox?
Correct. And technically you can do that right now.
Why did I buy an Xbox?
Do you have good enough internet to stream games?
No.
There you go. That's the biggest hurdle that this whole service, Game Pass, and
So you don't,
streaming and everything.
you don't need an Xbox at all.
No.
You can
That's how
literally,
it is now.
how much does this run for? I know this could probably
For the
change.
stick?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know yet.
Okay.
This isn't actually confirmed. This is just like a big room. Well, I think it's a substantial rumor. I don't really know. I didn't really read this.
I think it's got legs.
But yeah, it's something that Microsoft definitely has potential of doing. So
It'd be so cool. Like for me, I travel a lot, so having something like that I could take on the road would be really cool.
yeah, as long as you have good internet.
I won't usually.
Yeah. So your Series S will be good enough.
But so if you have average internet, is the problem going to be with latency?
yeah, latency and just lag in general. So I've used it on my network and it's been okay.
But like offline gaming,
You wouldn't be able to do offline gaming.
well, you would have to be online to play the games.
Yeah.
But like you wouldn't necessarily be lagging in a lobby with other people if you
Oh,
were.
right. Yeah, so it would be like you would just be playing the game and you would have to deal with latency and lag, but not against other people.
It's cool.
Like you're playing like a single player game. You wouldn't have to worry. That's where this service kind of shines, is where people can play like single player games and not have to worry about latency and lag
I like it.
playing competitively with someone online.
I'm all for new technology even when I don't need it
Yeah.
or can't use it.
I mean, it's a thing right now. You can like pull it up in your browser or like on your phone. If you have like a controller that you can hook up with Bluetooth to your phone, whatever, like that's already a thing. But this is just taking another step further and having them kind of enter a space of where someone might want that on their TV as well.
That's cool.
So, yeah, pretty big news. The next one I want to talk about that you are going to have thoughts of,
Oh boy.
Star Citizen,
Oh my goodness.
entering the headlines once again.
Oh, I saw this. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. So Star Citizen is doing bedsheet deformation physics now, because of course it is. That's the headline of this PC Gamer article.
It's just insane. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. But so Star Citizen has everything that I think I would really enjoy in a game. Now, now you'll learn probably as the podcast goes on, I mostly play sports titles. So whether it's like racing or just that horrible EA piece of trash Madden. If I had any other option, I wouldn't. Or like 2K. But for like the other part of me, like the other side of my gaming style, I really love like space games. Like I played Elite Dangerous back before it got kind of rough too. But Star Citizen could be such a cool game. And I think it could probably be out or very close to it if they weren't working on bedsheet physics.
Yeah.
And having accurate physics in a cup at a bar with liquid in it.
Yeah.
It does so many things so well, and their attention to detail is going to be what makes the game so cool if it ever releases, but it's never going to release if they keep doing this.
Right. And the biggest issue is they've been taking money from people for years now with promises of it eventually coming out and getting better, but overall it just hasn't really, like, they add a few things here and there, but overall, like, it's just kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't even had a chance to really run the game. I think I mentioned this to you the other day, but like I actually was thinking about Star Citizen a few weeks ago because it seems like I'll hop on like once a year. I bought the pledge or whatever to play the game.
Me too as well.
Sorry about that. And I'll get on like every year or so just to see what's been going on. Like I'll watch some YouTube videos and the videos always look pretty cool, but like I keep my expectations low. Most recently, I got on to play it and I loaded into a big city and my gaming PC or gaming laptop just wouldn't run it. It was stuttering so bad.
Yeah.
And it's because I currently only have 16 gigs of RAM in here. And apparently you really need 32 gigs of RAM to run the game smoothly.
Yeah.
And I saw something, again, I think I already mentioned this to you, but you need, if you have 64 gigs of RAM on your computer, this game will use all of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And as someone who doesn't know anything about tech, that sounds insane.
I have to sneeze. Never mind. Stop myself.
I think I'm as disappointed as you are.
Yeah, it's it's obviously still in, like, is it pre-alpha still?
Yeah, so I think it's technically pre-alpha.
Yeah, so it's not even alpha yet, which means, if you don't know what that means, alpha is where there's still, it's like the first version that they send to testers, basically, getting it ready for release. And it's usually where they are in the bug fixing stage, is in the alpha. And then beta comes after that, where it's mostly should be just polishing those like bugs and features.
Don't get me started on a rant here. Oh my gosh. Games are in alpha when they release them now, and then they're almost in beta by the time the next game comes out a year later.
Yeah. Madden.
Sorry.
Pretty much every AAA game in the last like 10 years.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, so this game is still technically in pre-alpha, which is good in terms of them saving their butts in a legal sense. But they're charging money for that pre-alpha. And so you're basically paying to be a tester for them. And I would assume that most people playing that game aren't submitting feedback or
I don't know
anything. I highly doubt it. I mean, we didn't.
I'm sure some people do.
I definitely didn't, at least. Just because I was like, that was kind of cool, but
the thing with the game is it actually, at times when I've played it, and part of this is from watching videos, so it might be a little deceiving, but like it feels kind of close, just empty. Because instead of working on adding in actual like game loops, they're working on bedsheet physics. But it feels like this is a real game that should come out within the next 3 or 4 years, which is insane because it's already been in development for so long. Because it feels like the base of the game is there. It's just buggy and needs game loops, and it needs more, some more like planets or, I guess, are they not star systems, but I don't. It needs more planets and locations, but like it feels close, but it's just they're not working on things that would actually release the game.
Yeah,
but they've got the single player. What's it called? Clearly, I'm a huge fan.
I mean, this has been off our radar for a while.
People are yelling at the screen right now if they know this game. Hold on. Star Citizen single player. Squadron 42.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So we don't know anything about Squadron 42 really yet, but that is probably a lot closer than the Persistent Universe, which is like the big multiplayer.
The one that everyone pays for.
Yeah. Well, technically, most people would buy both. Like, I think when I pledged, it was like $45 for both. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember. I did the cheapest one. I
don't know. I hope it comes out one day. It's such a cool game. I spent so much time playing Elite Dangerous. I have an embarrassing amount of hours into it, but it's just so shallow, and they don't like that game doesn't pay any attention to detail, which shows more and more the more they add to it, and it's just become a grind fest.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Citizen feels like it's going to be a really great game once they get those bedsheet physics in there.
Priorities. Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of like games like that. You try to get me into Elite Dangerous, and it's just not really my thing.
Star Citizen, I think, might end up being something you would like a lot, because I think that the first-person shooter part of it is going to be... You could actually spend your whole time playing the game on one planet as a first-person shooter game when it's released. Probably not now, but like when it's released, like the idea is like you could literally live on a planet and it can be a first-person shooter, where you can have your own, home on a planet. You can have your own way of making money, defending yourself, being in land battles with ships and ground vehicles.
Did you ever play No Man's Sky?
A little.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, so I played it a little early on. It's a cool game. It's actually probably, I would think by most people's standards, better. I mean, currently better than Star Citizen, because it's kind of an unfinished mess.
Right.
But also probably a lot better. I mean, I'm sure it is a better game than Elite Dangerous, but I guess the aesthetic of it is like not my thing. It's really kind of cartoony. It feels childish.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. It's just I couldn't get into it, and I think when I was playing, there wasn't any multiplayer.
That was something added later.
Yeah, and so that was kind of a turnoff too. Not that I have any friends, but
I mean,
I got at least one friend.
I'd be up for like trying it out with you. It's on Game Pass, so might as well.
We might have to try it.
Yeah,
it looks really cool. Again, it's just not. I need to just try it. I shouldn't have an opinion yet. Yeah. I played enough, and I think the one thing I've seen that reminds me of when I played is it's never ending like resource gathering. It looks like to do anything.
Yeah. And
that's a big turnoff for me.
Yeah, that's always annoying. It's an annoying mechanic.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like putting in grinds just to get people to play more hours.
Right. But yeah. Have you ever seen anything from the new Bethesda game, Starfield?
Have they released much on it yet?
They've released a couple like promo videos for it.
So I saw the first one, and I think I've seen some like still images maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that's maybe all I've seen, and it looks great, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, do you know who Bethesda is?
Yeah, so enough. I mean, not as much as...
Yeah. So they're the ones that made like Skyrim, Fallout. Like they're the ones that make all the Fallout games and Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah.
So they're like really popular with like like single player RPGs.
Haven't they been like kind of dropping the ball a lot lately though?
So
like just like everybody else.
I mean, I think they got a bad rap from when they released Fallout 76. Fallout has traditionally been a single player RPG, just like, Skyrim. I mean, I don't think you've played Skyrim, but you know what it is. And then they released Fallout 76, which was now a multiplayer survival-based game, which I thought was a cool concept, but it was
As
just
someone who's heard of the game but knows nothing about it, that sounds cool.
yeah, it was cool. I played it. Spencer played it with me for a little bit, and it was a really cool concept, just executed poorly. Like we said before, it released in a very bad state. Probably, I wouldn't say alpha, but definitely beta state. Very buggy, and when you're used to playing a game in like a single player mindset, and then it switches to multiplayer, sometimes that can just be kind of weird. So a cool and frustrating mechanic that it had was there were other players on the map, and they could at any point come and kill you. So you like always had to be like on edge, and if they killed you, they could like take your stuff. So
What's the point of the game? How do you win? Just not dying?
there's like a story. It's like a single player game, so you just
The more you tell me, the more I get confused about it.
I mean, what's the point of any survival game is to survive. So that game has like ways you level your character up and stuff, and
Okay.
like if you die and you lose your stuff, you don't lose your progress, you just lose your items. So at least I think that's how it is. It's been a while since I've played.
Yeah.
But you can like build your camp, and but it's mostly like exploration. So that's why I love the Fallout games and Elder Scrolls games, is you just like go out and explore, and there's a storyline you can follow. And like in Fallout 76, there's no NPCs on the map, which is another thing that people really hated. They're like, the whole point of Fallout is like talking to like fellow like settlers and survivors and stuff. There was nobody else. It was just like robots and stuff. And eventually they added NPCs after people got mad. But I liked that about it though, is like you come into the game and your whole point is you're trying to find out what happened to the overseer of the vault, and you like have to go in and like go throughout the map and like discover all these like you're like playing detective basically.
This podcast has become exactly what we thought it would be. You just explaining games and movies and shows to me that I don't know anything about,
Yeah.
that I definitely should know about. And one of the 3 people that are going to watch this video are like screaming, like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Sounds like a cool game, though. I think I would like exploration games. I just don't really play any of them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot of free time, and most of my free time is spent on other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you gotta choose your time wisely with like what you want to do.
Yeah, my free 20 minutes a day. Turn the Xbox on, look at my games, turn it off, go to bed.
Yeah. So why was I talking about Fallout? Oh, I was talking about Star Citizen.
Wow.
Bethesda kind of like fell out of people's graces because of
I
Fallout
forgot
76.
We were talking about, what is it, Starfield?
Yeah.
That's what we got into. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
And then after 76,
So wait,
they came out with a mobile Elder Scrolls game instead of Elder Scrolls 6, which is what everyone wants. The sequel
we
to
were
Skyrim.
talking about how Bethesda has a bad...
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, I know, that's what I just said.
Okay. We're on the same page.
Probably.
So yeah, they've been making weird moves lately, but overall, like they've mostly fixed 76. I mean, a lot of people still have an issue with it being a multiplayer game, but that was their vision, so that's probably not going to change with that game. But I have high hopes for Starfield. It's supposed to come out in December.
Yeah, and it's a single player game. We know that, right?
Game. Yep.
I could be okay with that. So the more I play games, like the older I get, and the less time I have to even be good at games, the more okay I am with single player games.
Yeah.
Because online is stressful, and
Yeah.
I usually am terrible.
Yeah, I've always preferred single player games. I mean, that's what I grew up playing. We didn't have internet in our bedroom.
Well, yeah, that's
growing
what I
up.
grew up playing too.
So like,
I'm just so competitive. Any game, I will get it thinking I'm going to get online and I'm going to kill people and I'm going to look terrible doing it so they feel extra bad. Like on 2K, I have the ugliest character ever. Me and Daniel were always like, let's hop on 2K and whoop some butt. And then 12 losses later, I'm like trying not to throw my controller at the screen.
Yeah.
And then I decide maybe single player would be better.
Yeah.
So Starfield.
Yeah, I mean, Starfield looks like something you would really like.
Do we know anything else about it? Like it's single player. We've seen, like I said, I've seen some still images, some videos that I don't even know if the video I saw may not have even been like in game. It might have been using the engine.
It was in game.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it was just very short. It was just kind of showing what it's going to look like and like the aesthetic of it.
I will say I wish single player games, more of them allowed like co-op. Because that would be cool. Because I like playing with friends. Yeah. I just don't like getting wrecked online.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we always wanted you guys to try Ghost Recon Wildlands. Because it was a co-op single player game. So you would get like a team of 4 people and you just do the missions together. And it was like an open world. So like...
That does sound cool.
Me and Spencer and...
Did you even ask us to play it?
Yeah, I told you guys about it a couple times.
And I was probably like, that sounds really cool. We'll have to play it sometime. And then now I don't even remember it.
How all my recommendations go.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Okay, all of them. You bought me a game once that took me like a year to play.
You still haven't played it.
Have I?
Not with me, anyways.
I hate myself. Thank you, though. That was very nice of you.
Now it's on Game Pass. So. You're welcome.
I love Game Pass.
Anyways. We can move on to the next news topic unless you have something else you want to talk about.
No.
We'll just go through the rest of them kind of quickly here because I don't think you'll have too much to offer. But I'm going to explain things to you.
What are you trying to say?
That I'm going to explain things to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This should be good.
Have you been keeping up with any of the Star Wars shows?
No, I kind of wish I had been. That's one thing.
You watched Mandalorian season 1, right? I thought you and Natalie watched it. Oh.
Natalie loves Baby Yoda.
You haven't watched it.
Because I still call him Baby Yoda.
Why do I still talk to you? Okay, well, I'm going to...
I really wanted to. I love Star Wars. I don't know why I don't think I had the streaming service it was on maybe when it came out, and then I just forgot about it. Plus, I will say when it comes to Star Wars, I'm more into like movies. The movies that come out are usually pretty top, like high priority for me to actually go see. And I almost never see movies. Mm-hmm. And then next would be like video games. Like Star Wars video games a lot of times are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But the shows or like series or whatever, or even some of the like the movies that are not like main movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've seen all of them.
There's only 2.
I don't know if I've seen all of them.
Rogue One.
My memory's so bad.
I think I've
seen both. I think I've seen both.
The Han Solo movie.
I've seen one.
Okay. I mean the series though are like super high quality. Like it's like watching a movie.
I know. I've heard really good things about even like the older like what is it, Clone Wars? Mm-hmm. Like I've never seen that series, and I've heard really good things.
Yeah, that one, Clone Wars and Rebels both are the 2 like animated series, and they're animated, so they're mostly geared towards kids in the broad spectrum. But there's a lot of deep episodes, and I would say like later seasons of Clone Wars is like top tier Star Wars.
Didn't a lot of I guess, how do I say it? Like backstory kind of come, like people who really dive into Star Wars a lot of times will reference things learned during that series, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was 7 seasons, so a lot of stories happened. So
I've seen none of them.
yeah, you could mostly skip the first 2 seasons, I would say, if you're pressed for time. But the last couple seasons are so good. We just watched the finale, and it's again a couple weeks ago, or I guess it was last week. Me and my siblings, and it takes place like during the events of episode 3. You know, like Anakin turns into like Darth Vader.
I think I've heard about that.
And it's like the main character of the show is Anakin's apprentice, and so it's like you don't see her in the movie, obviously, because she wasn't created yet. But it's a way to explain why she's not in the movie and why she's not important in the films, because she was off doing something else, and like the events take place like parallel to the movie.
It's really cool,
and it references and like she talks to them in between scenes from the movie, and it's like gut wrenching because it's so sad.
Huh.
So good.
I'm going to tell you that I'm going to watch that one day, and I probably never will.
Sounds about right. So anyways, the news is the Ahsoka TV series, which is the character I was just referencing. She also shows up in The Mandalorian, and the Book of Boba Fett. She's getting her own series, and it officially started production. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to watch that.
Well, you'll definitely have a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, we're getting season 3 of Mandalorian this coming December, I think. So
yeah, I'll have to check that out.
A lot of catching up to do. Obi-Wan is starting this month. You gotta at least watch Obi-Wan. Did you even know that was happening?
Yeah.
It's a whole series just about Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a movie coming out, though.
It originally was supposed to be a movie.
Maybe that's why I thought that.
Now it's going to be a 6-episode series.
Are the episodes like movie length?
I think so. Well, it'll be like an hour probably.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that.
I mean, going from a movie, which is probably like 2.5 hours, going to 6 hours, that's going to be amazing. So
yeah, I'll check that out.
I'm going to force you to check things out.
No, I might. I'm going to be so busy this summer, but maybe
I'm just going to send you the video files. Then you have it on your phone. Be easy to watch.
Just like you sent me a free video game.
You're right.
I'm the worst.
Anyways, next topic. EA is once again making a Lord of the Rings video game. But
I'm sure it'll be terrible. I have a lot of bad things to say about EA, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
You know why this is terrible? Because it's a mobile game.
Oh, good.
And the reason this is a big deal is because other than the Middle-earth games, which wasn't EA, there hasn't really been a Lord of the Rings game since the movies came out in the early 2000s. Well, yeah, basically.
Let me guess. EA bought the sole license to make a video game, so no one else is allowed, and they're going to release utter garbage that's filled with microtransactions.
I mean, yeah, it's a mobile game, so basically.
Oh my gosh.
So if anyone's familiar with the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game, it's basically just going to be a copy of that, which
I'll have to play that sometime.
Not my kind of game. It's basically just like you collect characters and then fight other characters with them or something. I don't know. It's not my kind of thing, but some people might be into this. I'm not.
It's good to know that there's something else out there by EA that I should avoid.
Yeah, EA has had the Lord of the Rings license for a long time, since the movies came out, but they've just done hardly anything with it.
Yeah, go figure. Does EA do anything well? Honest question.
So
like they make, I'm trying to think of like games that I don't hear complained about by EA. And I don't know a lot of like game, like, so like, is like The Sims is made by EA.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard anybody complain much about that.
True.
I can't think of any other games that EA makes that people aren't like, this is terrible, that came out since like, I don't know, 2012. I'm just throwing out a number.
Yeah, in the last 10 years, Apex has been pretty big.
That's fair. But do
Basically,
people complain about it a lot? Like, is it just big?
Not really.
Okay.
It's one of the better like battle royales out there.
That's cool.
But it's a free-to-play game, so like microtransactions are like a big part of that.
But is it for skill stuff or is it...
No.
See, I don't mind...
Cosmetics.
I actually am all for... I'm going to get roasted for saying... I'm all for microtransactions that don't affect gameplay. As long as the game is finished and good, I don't mind microtransactions for cosmetics.
Right.
But I hate EA. Anytime you bring anything up about them, I'm going to cry about it.
So
and it's mostly because of Madden.
Does Madden have microtransactions that affect the game?
Yes. So they have, what is it, Mutt, I think it is, where you have to buy card packs and you build a team from players for these packs you buy. And I've never touched the mode as hard as EA wants, tries to make me. But from my understanding is like the packs are at random. So you can spend, I don't know how much it costs, $5, $10 for a pack of cards and get a bunch of crap. And then the overpowered teams online will beat the bad teams. It's just, and that game mode makes EA so much money that they have ignored all of the other parts of the game except that because of the microtransactions. So they're selling you a $70 or $100, or I think they have a $150 video game that's littered with microtransactions, and their franchise has gotten worse every year. Franchise mode has gotten worse every year since, I don't know, 2008. Yeah. And they have the exclusive NFL license, so no one else can make a simulation style NFL game but Madden.
Right.
And Madden doesn't even do that. They make a very bad arcade game.
Right.
I say all this and then I'm going to talk about how much I play Madden. That's
how it always goes.
Well, the only reason I play it is because no one else is allowed. So like 2K is going to be making, this would be news we could talk about. 2K is going to be making a football game. They got a license to make arcade style football games.
Like NFL?
So they've got an NFL license, but they can't make simulation football games. So like they could make like an NFL Street back in the day if you ever played that.
Oh, that was one of the best games.
Oh, I would have so much fun. If they even used like the exact same like physics and engine and everything and just made it look cool and had good online play. Oh my, like made it kind of like the NBA 2K. I would never touch Madden again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be simulation because Madden's that bad. But what I want, so I'm in a Madden franchise league. There's 4 of us. You see our conversations in there because you're in our Discord for some reason because we're using your Discord.
Yeah, it's my Discord.
I don't know why we're on your Discord.
Because I wanted to be.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're on it. But the thing is like Madden miss on so much. So the franchise mode is actually close to being good in a lot of ways. Like good enough. Not where they should be. But the gameplay is so broken and arcadey.
Yeah.
And not good. And then on top of that, there's not enough depth to the franchise mode. And then whatever little depth is there, like when we started on Madden 21, it was when we started our franchise, and we were sim only. So we just wanted to build teams. We would simulate through the games, get to the off season. I keep touching my nose a lot because I have allergies. And so people are going to be like starting drinking games. Like every time David touches his face, take a drink. Anyways, Sorry. Ugh. Okay. So anyways, so we've got this franchise mode that like we were trying to sim games, but like I could have a 90, let's say a 97 overall team out of 100. And it felt like it was literally a coin toss against any team we would simulate a game against. It didn't take into account the skill of our players, the scheme, like game plans. Like there was nothing there. It just felt like a 60 overall team could beat a 99 overall team on any given game, which I guess could be a little realistic in NFL, but not really. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want a good football game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for hijacking whatever we were talking about before this, but
We were talking about EA. So
EA,
it's relevant.
EA is the worst. EA, I have a message for you. I want you to go out of business and stop making bad video games. Can we send that clip to EA?
Of course.
I'm sure they'll read it. They'll put it in their suggestion bin, which is also the trash can.
Yeah.
Because if they took suggestions, they'd make better games. I'm sorry.
You just clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're okay. Yeah.
I think I'm done. That was my rant for today.
EA is not the only one, though.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many game companies that just put out the same garbage over and over just to make a quick buck.
Yeah. And I don't want to get into a rant about Call of Duty right now, but Activision is definitely another big offender. So is Ubisoft. Activision obviously is hopefully getting bought out by Microsoft soon. They still have to go through one more like approval for that. But it looks like it's probably going to happen. Hopefully Microsoft just like starts them fresh and stops them from doing all this stupid stuff they've been doing, like harassing employees and releasing stupid business practices in their games and stuff.
I saw 2K did something recently that's like unheard of, which it shouldn't. This should not be going above and beyond. But I guess, and I'd never played it, but I saw they had a wrestling game that was getting really bad, like kind of like how Madden's bad. Like I guess it was really buggy.
Oh yeah, there's like a infamous like video of it being so bad.
Yeah, but they took a year off, so they didn't just take the free money. Granted, I guess if a game's that bad, I mean, if they're the only wrestling game, I guess people will probably buy it just like they do Madden. But
they're not the only one anymore.
But well, no. So I guess they took a year off to actually focus on making the game like not suck, which you don't hear about ever. They just take the free money and put out the same game.
Yeah, it depends on how badly it affects them. Like Ubisoft did that with Assassin's Creed back when Origins came out, like in 2016, because they had so much like people saying like stop releasing things every year. They all like release really badly, and you have to spend so much time fixing them. Like take more time. So they did that, and a couple other companies too have done it too. But you're right, like it's not too common.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah, with wrestling games, they're
hold that thought. What you can do is we can stop buying bad video games.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes you don't know though until
that's true.
Like, I guess you could just wait for like reviews.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I usually do.
But
even like for Madden, I actually bought I bought Madden 22 because Madden 20 and 21 were so bad. I think I'm getting my story straight. That I saw like enough improvements with the game that I was like, I'll pay for this so I can stop playing this old hot garbage. But it wasn't that much better. I fell for the hype. These
Yeah.
companies have great marketing teams.
Oh, that's where most of their money goes. Yeah. Yeah. Call of Duty is the same way. And a lot of the other big games, they just spend so much money like hyping it up and making it seem like it's amazing, and then it releases and it's either super buggy or like it's just bad. Like,
or a cool idea that was poorly implemented or something.
yeah,
Just
like
there's always something wrong.
one good example recently is another EA game,
Of course.
Battlefield 2042. I didn't buy it. Tyler bought it.
I've heard a couple stories, I think.
Apparently it's terrible and like super buggy, and like they have been trying to fix it, but it's just like basically an alpha state. So it's not going to be something they can fix in
What's
one
crazy
update.
too is sometimes companies will put out a game that's built on such a broken base that they can't even fix it. That's kind of where Madden's at. And there's other games that are like that too. And they'll fix it as best they can, but it's never going to be like a finished game from like when we were in high school, like when there were just discs and you had to actually finish a game to release it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Things
Just
are weird.
assume anytime you put EA on something that we're going to talk about that it's going to be a long rant.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that that's where a lot of the bigger companies are now. Like EA and Activision both used to be, and Ubisoft used to be like the best companies that would put out the best games. Like there's a reason that their big franchises are so big now, because they were so good.
Yeah.
They did things super well. Like Madden used to be amazing.
You want to know what's crazy though? So Madden was, as much as I complain about Madden now, so Madden for its time in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008 was such a good game.
Yeah.
But I found out that kind of recently, and I tried playing it and it was really fun. 2K made NFL 2K 2005 or ESPN 2K 2000 football, sports ball, something. 2K had a game in 2005 that was an NFL game that, in my opinion, at least from a gameplay perspective, blows Madden out of the water. Even their gameplay from 2005 blows Madden's gameplay out, like now.
2K5.
Yeah. Are you trying to get the name right?
Yeah, that's what it is. 2K5.
Yeah, but it's ESPN NFL 2K5.
Yep.
But it was such a good game, and the franchise was actually deeper than Madden's. Like the gameplay is on another level, especially now. But like, in fact, I don't know. The only reason I play Madden over that is for like multiplayer, and I have found, as bad as new sports games are, and this could probably be said about other games too, when you go back and really compare them to like old games that you were like, these games were great, they're not as great as we thought they were.
Oh yeah.
Like there's some features that are in Madden, like as bad as that game is now, that I actually can't play without.
Right.
That weren't in those old games that I didn't. And I guess because I didn't know that it was possible at that time, I didn't know how bad it was not having it. Like being able to like I tried to do a superstar mode on, I think it was Madden 06 or 07, somewhere during the prime.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you could simulate when your player wasn't on the field. You had to actually watch the game. It's like if I had a quarterback, I would play on offense, and then I would watch the kicker kick a field goal, and then I would watch us kick the ball off, and then I would watch us play defense. And it was...
Can we help you?
My wife just walked in with the dog. Mom, you're ruining my podcast!
Oh, no.
This is not what we talked about. Gus, we had a plan.
Yeah, we'll have to cut that out.
Maybe. I don't remember what I was talking about.
Exactly.
But yeah, there were features that like I could not go without.
Right.
As much as those games were way better for their time than what our games are now,
Yeah.
it feels like, and maybe nostalgia is part of it, but like
Yeah.
you also like, even graphics aside, like there's some things, I'm sure like Call of Duty's probably the same way.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, when you have a game that releases every year, you're building on what was done the year before that. So each year is like iterative. So it's like, yeah, the one that came out this year was just like a slight improvement from last year. But that happens every
Well,
year.
it's supposed
over
to
and over.
be.
Yeah, and it happens.
They also
they do it
break
every year-
things while they add things on, usually. It feels like.
Madden, especially, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, like the longer that happens, like you're getting so far away from what it was originally. So the one from 2005 is going to be vastly different from the one from 2022, but it's hard to see that in the journey.
I will say, and I guess it really is maybe just Madden, well, EA, but like the franchise mode was legitimately better. Like if you hold that franchise mode up to the one now, it is better.
Yeah.
There's not any features that we have now that weren't in that game for like just franchise mode.
Mm-hmm.
I tried superstar mode, and like that was like, for me, like felt unplayable.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to do like a good single player franchise mode, I would 100% play an old Madden game or that 2K game.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, it's like when we play zombies on Call of Duty Zombies, we always go back to the older ones because like the systems that they had in place for those older games that's what we like about that mode. And even though they release zombies pretty much every year, it's never like they always change something or they make it slightly different or like more complicated or
Yeah. I don't
it's
know.
like that with just like a lot of games that release every year.
I don't like change.
That's true. Most people don't. But yeah, and we can go on a whole long rant about how people complain about a game being the same every year. But I don't know if I want to get into that right now.
I think we already kind of did it.
No, I have a longer rant about
I
it.
do too.
I don't think we have time for that, but we'll get to that eventually.
My dog has gone nuts
Yeah.
and is trying to ruin our podcast,
Yeah.
but we already ruined it.
How?
This has been terrible. No, I'm kidding. This has been all right.
Next topic. We only have 2 short ones left.
Let's do it.
Okay. No response. Okay, so the iPod has officially been discontinued by Apple officially.
People still bought These people still bought iPods?
No, that's why it's discontinued. So a lot of these.
Wait, what was the year that they made their last iPod? 2022?
They updated it last in 2019, the iPod Touch.
Seriously?
So a lot of these are still being used in like stores and like restaurants and stuff, like not cashiers, but like you'll see a lot of like employees have them to like check things. And you know, more and more are just using like iPads and stuff, but a lot of places prefer the smaller ones. And like for a long time they were given to like kids. Like a parent didn't want them to have an iPhone, so they would get them an iPod because it was cheaper.
Yeah, but now like every kid I've ever met has an iPad.
Well, yeah. Basically, since iPads became more popular and cheaper, that's been their go-to. So
Gosh, I remember when iPods came out and I got my first one.
yeah.
It was a game changer.
You had the little Nano, didn't you? You and Daniel had the Nanos.
I think that was my first one,
You
and I
had
couldn't figure it out. Because I think at one point I had the one that had like no screen or anything.
oh really?
And
The
I've
shuffle?
yeah. And I've always been like not tech savvy. So, but I can't remember if that was my first one, but I had a couple.
You had this one.
Yeah, so I had that
Like
one
a
at one
silver
time.
one. Yeah.
I think I maybe had the
bigger one.
the like longer one.
This one.
Yeah, I feel like I had something like that for a little bit. But it was such a game changer because like music's always been such a big part of my life, and I remember the bus rides, like listening to my CD player, and it would skip every time we hit a bump.
Yeah.
I had when I tried to learn guitar and decided I didn't want to because I had no work ethic. I had a guitar teacher who taught us on cassettes, so I had a cassette player so I could learn the songs that he was giving me.
Yeah.
That's how old I am. But that was like old school when I was young.
Yeah. I had the my first iPod that I got was the is that a Nano? Nano second generation. And it I think it only had like 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes or something like that. Like the early
That
ones
sounds-
like
yeah.
were super like small with storage. But you could still fit like way more songs on there than like anything else.
I'm trying to remember how I even got my music because I think I bought some music, but I think allegedly
A lot
I
of
think-
us shared CDs, like burnt CDs. I remember one of our friends, I'm not going to name them, but I remember he had like a huge stack of CDs that he would like share with all of us. So I'm sure like he gave it to Daniel, and
yeah. So
you guys shared a lot of the same music.
there was someone's dad who may or may not have been mine, who might have gotten a lot of our music from the library.
Oh, yeah.
And then burned the CDs
I forgot
for
about
us.
libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You forgot about libraries?
Yeah. I just don't think of like music from libraries. Like we never did that.
No, it's funny. So we actually, back to like working for a moving company, we moved a library recently, and they were like, they like threw out all these books, but like some of the stuff that they're getting rid of for the move, I guess they hadn't been checked out in like over a decade, but it's still weird throwing books out.
Yeah.
But
Just donate them.
yeah, I don't get it. There was some stupid reason that they couldn't.
That's
But-
crazy.
So I didn't know that, because you will never ever, this is gonna make me sound so dumb, never ever see me step foot in the library ever for any reason outside of work. So I hadn't been in a library since like I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that they had board games. But the crazy thing,
Yeah.
they had like an unopened apples to apples game that they were throwing out.
What?
I might have kept it, but
You have it here?
it's still in my car. This was like 4 months ago, and that game's been in my car. Do you want it?
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Sweet.
I got there are a couple other board games that I got to, I gave to Brad Hunsinger. We went over and played some games with him.
That may or may not be the person I was referring to with the CDs sharing. Allegedly.
iPods are cool though.
Yeah, iPods.
But yeah, I guess I was saying I didn't know like libraries have so much stuff in them.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But yeah, iPods are cool.
Yeah, so I had the iPod Nano 2nd gen, and then I upgraded to an iPod Classic 80 gigabyte.
So the last one they made was in 2019, And in 2022, they're discontinuing them.
It was just a spec bump. So it's just the iPod Touch. So if I do iPod Touch 2019, it's just going to be like the same model. They just like put a new processor in it.
So it's basically an iPhone.
Yeah, it's the one that they like came out alongside one of the, it's like iPhone 5, I think. That's why it looks the same. Yeah. That's why nobody.
That's crazy. There's someone somewhere that's like, what am I going to do when they stop making iPods?
I don't know about that.
How
If
am I
they
going to
think
listen to my music?
Then they probably are still using their iPod original, and like, there's like a big community that like is super into iPods, and like
That's like people who are into vinyl, but a lot worse.
I don't know if it's worse. I mean, it's technology. I kind of like dabbled in it a couple years ago, just because I was like feeling nostalgic about iPods.
I knew there was something wrong with you.
iPods were cool, and
You want to know what's really cool?
I like having my own library of music too.
You want to know what's really cool? Paying a small monthly fee to get unlimited ad-free music from a platform. If you want to sponsor us,
No,
yeah, we have no viewers, but
I don't want to be sponsored by them.
But
David, you're a musician.
oh my gosh, when Spotify came out, that was another game changer. But we don't have to get into that right now. But
Yeah, I have some words about Spotify.
yeah, well,
How much money have you seen from Spotify?
well, seeing as how we lose money annually,
Exactly.
just generally speaking,
Yeah.
it's been hard during COVID.
Their payout is like 0.02 cents per stream.
Yeah, but I would argue that they have a discoverability factor that helps make up for that for smaller artists. And to be honest, we have a lot of people that stream our music on Spotify who would have never bought a CD. So,
Oh, I'm not comparing up against CDs.
yeah, no,
by
I'm
any
saying
means.
I want more money,
Yeah.
but
Compared to all the other services out there, they pay the least.
I legitimately don't have any real complaints as of right now. But nobody's streaming our music anyways. I think we did hit 100,000 streams on one of our songs though.
Wow.
My music career is a little bit sad. So I'm trying to like really kind of celebrate little milestones like that now. So
Yeah, that's actually really cool. And to be fair, I'm not saying Spotify isn't cool, like as far as like the service itself and all the other services like it. I'm just saying they're a little greedy.
isn't everybody?
Not as greedy as them, apparently.
At least they're not selling microtransactions.
Yet.
What would they sell?
I don't
What
know.
do you think they would sell?
I mean,
They'll probably start making you pay a subscription and you have to listen to ads. That's how I feel. I've gotten so used to Spotify that anytime I pull up like Hulu or Netflix, a service that I'm paying for, it feels so wrong that I also have to watch ads.
well, Netflix doesn't have ads yet, but they are.
So maybe I don't ever get on Netflix.
They're adding ads soon.
Of course they are.
But it's going to be all those services have an ad like subscription model, or what's the word? Tier. of
Yeah,
their
that's
subscription.
true.
So you
That's
could pay a
true.
little bit more to not have ads. So when I paid for like Hulu, I can't stand ads. So I would always pay more to get the ad-free one. But people are all up in arms right now. I could have put it in the news, but I didn't feel like we needed to talk about it. But since we are, Netflix is adding an ad tier, and people are assuming that means ads are going to be on their tier that they're currently paying for. It's like, no, it's going to be like a cheaper option
For
with
now.
ads.
for now. They're going to take all the monies.
They don't have enough stuff on there anymore to warrant too much more money.
Yeah, they don't have a monopoly on that anymore.
I canceled my
sure.
Netflix like a year ago because all of the shows that I cared about, for the most part, like they're on other services now.
I think I watch 3, maybe 4 shows at the most right now. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. But all of my shows that I watch at all are on Hulu or HBO Max.
Yeah. But do you still pay for the others?
So
That's where
I
they
don't
get you.
know how companies still feel about this, but someone else is paying for some of the other ones.
That's the big reason why they're trying to make a cheaper ad options, because
Are they just hoping that people will share less because they can afford it?
I think they're going to crack down on it. So they're going to make it slightly more affordable with ads to encourage you to pay for another subscription.
So I hate that personally, but I sort of understand.
I mean, the budget for the shows on Netflix and just shows in general these days is insane.
No, they're making plenty of money. That's why I hate it.
No, they're not making enough money.
Oh, what do you mean?
The budget for the shows, the money that they spend on making the shows.
It's like Netflix really isn't making much money right now.
They're not making hardly anything because they're spending so much
Yeah,
money.
so
on
then
the
I
shows.
definitely get it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I get it for sure.
So is this why they're losing shows? They just can't afford to keep them?
No, they're losing shows because they don't own the shows.
Yeah, that's...
Like a lot of the shows that they originally had
they
on
have
there
very few
were
original...
from other networks. Other networks now have their own streaming services like Disney Plus.
Yeah, that
Peacock,
makes sense.
Hulu, like
that's why I'm never on Netflix.
Yeah. So Netflix basically, for the most part, only has, at least in the US, they only have their own Netflix shows like Stranger Things or Ozark or what's another big one? I don't know. Those are the only two I know of. The only two that I watch. The Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil and stuff like that, they're now off, even though they were Netflix shows, but they're Marvel, so like Disney took them back. Now they're on Disney Plus, which those are like some of my favorite shows. But yeah, they're just like, their stuff is super high quality, but a lot of their shows either only run for one season and then they get canceled or whatever. So like a lot of people are just like, they're not seeing the ultimate value in paying for Netflix anymore because they're not sure that the show is going to be long enough to be invested in it.
Well, and so other than maybe like comedy specials, most of Netflix original stuff really isn't very good from my experience that I've seen. Is that accurate? I've only seen a couple, like I know, like I watched a little bit of Fuller House, which was like, that was Netflix, right?
Yeah, but
so I watched like a couple episodes of that.
That's a bad example.
Yeah, well, just for the nostalgia, and it wasn't. It just
it wasn't good.
Yeah, and then I feel like there's one other one that I watched that was like a Netflix original. It was probably a movie though. They've probably I think they've got good movies.
I think all their content is like good and like top tier stuff. That's why like their budgets are so high, but it's just there's less and less of it than compared to when Netflix was like in its heyday.
Yeah.
When they had like all the network like CBS and like Disney and everything on there. Like that's why even still today people say like, hey, I'm going to watch some Netflix, but what they really mean is they're just going to go watch TV. Or like they're not going to be on Netflix, they're going to be watching like Disney Plus or like Hulu or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like Netflix did it first, so it's just like synonymous with what people associate like, watching
getting
TV.
A Kleenex, but it's not
exactly.
Kleenex,
Yeah,
it's another tissue. That's
it's
my
the
example.
Meyer brand tissue. Yeah, exactly. Kind of crazy.
You remember when people had to wipe their butts with tissue because we were all out of toilet paper? So yeah, it's really sad that iPod went out. I never ran out of toilet paper. I've always wiped my butt with toilet paper, Brad.
Okay. I feel like there was a story in there for the context of that.
No, but wasn't it wasn't it Tyler's grandpa who so one of our friends' grandfathers told them that you only need to use 1 square of tissue paper to wipe, but you rip part of the tissue or the toilet paper off. You wipe with the rest of the 1 square, and then the other little bit is to clean out your fingernails.
What?
So one of our friends' grandfathers told.
I have never heard that.
That
is disturbing.
Grandpas are weird.
Oh my gosh.
It might not have been Tyler. I don't remember who's.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't. I'm probably throwing him under the bus, and it wasn't even him. But somebody's grandfather who I'm friends with. That was a real story that they've told.
Wow.
Whether or not that's what they did, we'll never know.
Yeah.
He's probably dead.
I don't even want to know. He's probably dead.
He was just dying to not have to do that anymore.
Okay. Let's move on to our final news topic.
Tyler, I'm sorry if that was about your grandpa, and if he's dead, I'm really, really sorry.
Jerk.
Oh my gosh. I hate myself.
All right, so the Google I/O event happened today, and I watched it, and it was pretty boring. But
now let's talk about it.
There were some cool things in it. The biggest thing I want to point out is these glasses that let you they translate in real time. What are you looking at?
I want to make fun of the picture that's on your screen, but I'm not going to.
So the video showed this woman who I think it was her mom, only spoke Mandarin, Chinese, and she would always have a hard time talking to her, but she put these glasses on and it would translate what she was saying in real time, and it was really cool.
That is really cool.
So they said it's just a prototype right now, but obviously that means if it's this far along, then it's probably going to show up at some point. I'm sure their final product will have more than just translating.
That's like one of the most futuristic things I've ever seen.
I was going to say, it's like...
That's like straight out of Spy Kids back in the day.
Yeah, like super sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sci-fi. What's that from?
Zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sci-fi.
I don't even think that's what it is.
I need a little revive.
Call of Duty Zombies is legendary. Anyways, they announced the Pixel 7 and the new Pixel Watch, blah blah blah, which are all nice, but I thought the glasses were really cool.
So I thought the person in that picture was wearing gold teeth. That's why I had to get so close to your computer. There were other things that I could make fun of as well.
Are you saying she had bad dental hygiene?
No, I'm saying from far away.
Her teeth were so yellow.
No.
That they looked gold.
I don't even think they were yellow.
I don't know. I'll bring it back up. No.
No, those are some pearly whites right there.
Anyways.
Got some nice ivories.
Pearly whites.
Now I gotta make... Ignore me for a second.
So... Blah, blah, blah. Oh,
so ivory...
What?
Ivory is a hard white material from the tusks and teeth of animals.
Yes.
And I just So I think I knew that and forgot. That's why when I said it, I was like, wait, was this like a massive insult to the person that was in that picture? Where I said, got some nice ivories or whatever I said. So I was like, wait, what did I just say about this person?
No, that
I was saying she has tusks.
no, that's because tusks are basically the same thing as teeth. So it's a common phrase to call teeth ivories.
Those don't look like teeth that I'm looking at. Those are tusks coming out of an elephant. Hard white material from the tusk, and the teeth of animals.
Yeah, it's like the same material.
Consists mainly of dentine and the physical structures of teeth and tusks. The chemical structure of the teeth and tusks of mammals is the same, regardless of the species of origin. You can say you don't like the show, can't say you didn't learn anything.
I already knew it.
I hate myself so much.
But I'm glad you learned something.
I kind of knew what it meant. I just kind of forgot.
Yeah, you wouldn't have said it if you hadn't heard it before. Yeah. I would hope. That would be weird.
You'd be surprised. I
Um,
need to get this off my screen.
Stop talking about ivories. Okay, I wanted to say you haven't been keeping up with Marvel, have you? Since we already said you haven't been keeping up with Star Wars, I'm assuming you haven't been keeping up with Marvel either.
No.
Well, Moon Knight finally ended.
Cool,
And
I know what that is.
I just wanted to say that it was amazing. And
Do you want to tell the audience, if there's an audience member out there who doesn't know what Moonlight is, what it is?
well, it's
Obviously, as a co-host, I know exactly what we're talking about.
yeah, because you just called it Moonlight.
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
Moon Knight.
Yeah. Moonlight.
Moon Knight. That's what I said.
The hero of of the light of the moon.
So for anyone who doesn't know what Moon Knight is,
What is it, David?
well, see, you're so much better at explaining things than me that I thought you could explain to the audience
I want to know
what this phenomenal show, movie, or video game is about.
Wow.
It's a series. I'm not an idiot.
A good guess.
I'm not an idiot, right?
Okay. It is a series. It is a Marvel series.
I knew it.
And it doesn't appear to be connected to the rest of the Marvel universe, which was the coolest part about it.
Yeah, I thought it was baffling.
Because all of the Marvel shows and movies seem like they have to be connected in some way, which is cool in a lot of ways, but it's also kind of exhausting with how much they put out. So Moon Knight seemed like it was just kind of like on its own.
Which would be nice for someone like me who can't keep up with everything.
Yeah.
I feel like, what was it? Wasn't there like a new Spider-Man movie that came out, but it was like the third one or something. And I was like, I don't think I watched the second one.
Yeah, we had that conversation. You were like, yeah, isn't there a new Spider-Man movie out? I haven't even heard of anything else.
Because I think we were going to go see it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to go watch a new Spider-Man.
Too. And I think by that point it was already out of theaters or something. But you thought that it was the first one or something like that.
Or the second.
Yeah.
Or like related to one that I'd seen who knows how many years ago.
Yeah, because I think you knew that there were that it was related to like the first ones, but you didn't know that there were newer ones.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That was really funny. That is confusing because it does pull in. I mean, this is a big spoiler.
Give it a minute. Pause.
But
Hold on. Don't spoil it.
It was spoiled
Don't
for me, so I'm going to spoil it for everybody.
For the listener. Let's
Everyone
continue to give them time
Everyone
to
knows.
take their headphones out.
It came out in December.
Is that the spoiler?
It's May. I think it's time.
Don't ruin this.
And it's been out on DVD.
I'm planning on watching
Blu-ray.
this.
You don't want me to spoil it?
I'm kidding. You can spoil it.
You haven't seen the first two yet. Or probably the other two that
Do you
came
think
out
I
before
would
that.
even remember the spoiler if I did go watch it?
Exactly. I could give you the whole plot and you wouldn't even know. It'd be like watching it for the
That's
first
so
time.
insulting, but so true.
It pulls in the Spider-Man, both Spider-Man from the other two Spider-Man series.
Yeah, see, I already knew that, and I haven't even watched
Exactly. It was spoiled super early. But it was really cool. Like they were like all interacting with each other, and it was really nice.
So for anyone that like took their headphones out or whatever, should we like stand up and make it very abundantly clear that they should start listening again?
No.
Okay. They're just
Um,
going to miss out
It also
on this quality content.
It also relates heavily to Doctor Strange, which that movie just came out like last week or the week before. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I was going to say now if there was someone in the audience who didn't know anything about Doctor Strange, I was going to have you explain that for them. But
I can explain the character in the first movie, and
there's
Spider-Man.
there's a first movie. So
There's this first movie, and he was in
yeah.
Avengers, and which you probably still haven't seen.
No,
Good
but at least
God, man.
at least I know what it is. It's the one with Superman, right?
No,
I'm just kidding. You were so disappointed, but it was believable. That's the saddest part.
yeah.
So, Doctor Strange.
We don't need to talk about him because I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
The new one. It just came out like
Okay.
last week or the week before, whatever. I'll see it eventually. I don't usually go to the theaters to see movies anymore because no one will go with me.
Shots fired.
I mean, it's not just you.
I would. Obviously, I was going to, but I would not have understood what was going on in that
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we can save some of those topics for when we have people on that know more about it. So I'm assuming I guess this is our last question. What have you been playing? Madden?
I didn't want to say it. Yeah, so lately, and really anytime you ask me this, it's going to end up being pretty similar almost always, but been in the Madden franchise. We're about to sim the conference finals, which, like I said, is going to be a 50-50 shot of either me or Tyler winning. And then Daniel beat Tom, so he's got to play his way into the Super Bowl. And I already have 2 Super Bowl wins, so I'm basically the best. So that's what I've mostly been playing. Got back into 2K a tiny bit. Again, haven't had a lot of time to play games. I don't know if 2K fixed something, because I was kind of talking about this earlier about how like we're really bad at like most online multiplayer games. But me and Daniel got on, and we're so used to losing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we got on, and we were actually like winning a decent amount. And I can't help but wonder, and this might be like well known, like I wonder if they like fixed their like improved matchmaking or something, because I didn't feel like we were stuck playing in like the park with people who were way better than us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt pretty even. So that was actually really nice. So that was fun. Got a buddy who I'm going to maybe start playing some racing games with again. I was in an iRacing league, but we're going to be going on tour all summer. So I'm not really going to have, it doesn't make sense to do a racing league when you would miss most of the races and come last in points.
Right.
So I'm not on iRacing anymore. I let that subscription, I'm not paying for that at the moment. I'll get back on it one day. But might be playing some NASCAR Heat 5 with Daniel and another buddy. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Our interests are a lot different. What have you been playing?
So the new Lego Star Wars came out about a month ago now, and
I saw something about it, but don't know much.
it was amazing. It is amazing. It's basically like what you would want a Star Wars game that focuses on the movies to be.
Yeah, because aren't you? Gosh, why did I start this? I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Aren't you basically like taking over as like a Jedi in the game? Like it's kind of like it's story driven in that sense from like a Jedi's perspective in a Lego universe.
That was a really dumb question.
I mean, it could be about spaceships, or it could be it could be a shooter.
Yeah, the point of the game is you play as like all of the.
I'm just
movie
asking on
characters.
behalf of people who are listening who may not know.
They know. So you play as like all the characters. So like if you're in the scene, you're playing the movie scenes basically. Like you play like you show up.
So you're not one
And-
specific character.
No, you like whatever scene you're playing as that character that is in
That's
that scene.
cool.
So like you just go through each episode, like episode 1. You
So
start
I've
out,
seen advertisements of someone playing as probably a specific character, which led me to believe that that's what it was.
Yeah, so you can also after you like beat the levels, you can like go back as any character that you want.
That's really cool.
And you can like it's like kind of you probably haven't played the originals, but that's how the originals were. Like
no,
you unlock characters as you go.
it seems like anytime a Lego game is made, it's a really good game that I don't play because I don't feel like playing a Lego game. But
Yeah.
I'm probably missing because doesn't it seem like most Lego games end up being really good? As someone
Yeah.
who has never played any of them,
Yeah.
that's what I hear.
I mean the original Lego Star Wars games came out in like 2005 or 4. And so we were pretty young back then.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like nostalgia going back to like playing a Lego Star Wars game, but it was just so like it was like that game but like times 20. Like and it's like open world, so you can go like to whatever planet that you want to. You land on that planet and you can go over to this little area that says like, hey, you can start this mission that is like part of the movie scene or whatever.
Yeah,
Or you can just explore the planet.
that's really cool.
So you can like fly your ship and it's like in space and stuff. You can like do space battles and stuff like that.
I'm gonna have to check that out. It's time to wrap up.
Okay.
Any ending notes?
Thank you for watching and we will see you next time.